Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Let's talk about today's WOD. So what do you need for the WOD? First of all, you're going to need a lighter weight for the warm-up. You're also going to need a light resistance band or an even lighter weight for reverse flies. So if you don't have a resistance band, you will need a broomstick or something straight for pass boost. And then finally, you're going to need a heavier external load. So the heaviest external load that I have is this 35-pound dumbbell. So that's the winner for the day. So let's talk about the warm-up first. Your warm-up is 3 rounds, 4 movements, 7 of each. So if you're doing these with 1 dumbbell or kettlebell, I would suggest doing them on each side, but you can also do them bilaterally. So it's deadlift, bent over row, push press, and back squat. So the bent over row is really the only one that you can't actually do bilaterally if you only have 1 implement. So for deadlift, we'll just do these puppies with 2 hands, right? Deadlift, keep the kettlebell between your legs, lined up with the arches of your feet, back is straight, chest stays high, gaze is forward, pop straight up and squeeze your glutes. Okay? From there, you're going into the bent over row. So you can keep your feet on line and then just pull one hand aside and then put your elbow in your back pocket. Back stays straight, chest stays high. All right, from there, push press. All right, so that comes from that front rack position, elbows in front when you're in the down position. Extend the elbow all the way and then keep your fists on line with your ear. Last one is the back squat. So this is interesting, right? You only have 1 implement. You want to just kind of disperse the weight onto the posterior chain, right? So feet come out about hip width apart or shoulder width apart, knees go out to the side, and then sit your butt below your knees. Boom. If you have a dumbbell, it'll look a little bit different. For that back squat, you kind of want to just stack it back here and then do your squats. Boom. But I would use the dumbbell because that's my heavier weight. And I'm going to use that for the workout. So for your mobility portion, we're going to do some pulls to kind of warm up those shoulders. If you have a lighter resistance band, I suggest using that, but I will show you how to do this with that one in case you don't. So the first movement is band assisted leg lowers. So for that, we're going to come down onto your back, feet come up in the air, and then get your resistance band around the arch of your foot, and then pull your elbows down onto the ground. Both legs come up, both knees stay straight, lower one down, tap your heel, and then bring it back up. You've got 8 on each side for that one. Next is your band pull aparts. So for band pull apart, keep your wrists and elbows straight. You have these guys straight out, and then retract your shoulder blades to make this happen, right? It's the same thing like a fly. In fact, that's what you're gonna do if you don't have a resistance band, right? So if you don't have a resistance band, take your light weights or your pineapple chunks, right? Hinge from the hips, chest stays high, back stays straight, elbows are slightly bent on this, and then just squeeze your shoulder blades together to raise your arms. Boom. So if you don't have a resistance band, instead of doing the pull aparts, you'll do the reverse flies. That's what they're called. Last one is the banded pass through. All right, so wrists and elbows are straight. We have that overhand grip all the way around, and just create a little bit of tension between the shoulder blades there. If that's not enough, you're like, that's definitely not a good enough stretch for me, Jess. That's okay. You can use your broomstick, right? Wrist, elbow straight, ribs stay tucked in, go all the way around, and all the way back. All right, that's your warm-up. Let's now talk about the strength portion of the workout today. So you have sumo deadlifts and sumo deadlift high pulls. Right, so we're still doing that vertical pull. We're just not doing it with gravity and body weight working against us. We are doing it with our implement, our heavier implement, right? So because I have a dumbbell, I'm going to do single arm sumo deadlift high pulls. But for the sumo deadlift, you can I can pretty much get both hands around that. So for sumo, your feet are wider than your hips and your toes are pointed slightly out. As you hinge and your knees start to bend, they're going to track with your toes, but your knees always stay over your heels or further back, right? So I'm going to try and get 2 hands onto my sumo or my dumbbell here, right? So back stays straight, chest stays high, right? And the dumbbell just takes a straight path all the way up. Squeeze your butt at the top. Boom. And I could do 2 hands for sumo deadlift high pull, but I'd rather have a really good grip on it, so I'm just gonna do 1, alright? So sumo deadlift high pull, it's an explosion forward with the hips, and then we use the momentum from the hips to get the dumbbell up to the collarbone, alright? So we're here, back down, alright? And then following those 2 movements, you have sumo deadlifts again, alright? 4 rounds of that for quality. Take your time, focus on good movement. The WOD. So your WOD is an extended frame. You've got a rep scheme that goes something like this: 15, 12, 9, 6, 3, thrusters and chest to bar. So if you don't have a barbell or a pull-up bar, then we gotta work around that. So options for your thrusters, right? You can do a wall ball if you have a med ball. You can do single arm dumbbell thrusters, which is what I'm going to do right now. Okay, so starting in that front rack position, I'm gonna squat all the way down, get my butt below my hips, pop up, and use that momentum to get that dumbbell into that overhead position. Boom. Chest to bar pull-ups. So if you're not going out to a park to do this workout and you don't have a pull-up bar at home, you're stuck doing bent over rows. So it's pretty much all of that, the only option that you have if you're gonna stay home for the workout. So for your bent over rows, you can do them, if you have a really heavy dumbbell, you can do them as though you were rowing with a barbell, or you can do them one arm at a time. Right? I like to do split stance when I'm doing one arm. Remember, you want to squeeze your lats to make this work, not your biceps. Don't forget your core burn at the end, folks. It's 12 minutes long. Yes, that's a touch long, but you get to switch off exercises every minute, so I feel like you guys are going to do really well. You've got mountain climbers, crossbody mountain climbers, and leg lift with a twist. So I'll show you those real quick. Mountain climbers, right? I like to do these slow, especially when I have to work for 40 seconds, and it keeps my form from getting all wacky with my butt up in the air. So I like to bring that knee as close to the chest as I can, plant it back down, and do them in a slow and controlled way. You can also just do the jump and switch, right? But you want to make sure that your butt doesn't start to come up in the air. For the crossbody mountain climber, same thing, except you're going to aim opposite knee to opposite elbow. Okay? And notice how I let my hip sink down just a little bit to really get that oblique crunch in there. It's getting a little warm out today, guys. Leg lift with a twist. All right, so I'll do these backwards. For these, hands go underneath your butt. There we go. You're going to raise your legs up into the air and then twist as you lift. All right, I'll show you again. Straight up and twist. Make this a little bit more fluid. There you go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your WOD for the day. Enjoy, post your scores in the comments section if you're feeling like it. Other than that, see you tomorrow.